muted. Please mute yourself. Other than Lorrie, other than our guest Lorrie. I'm super excited to have our dear friend Lorrie Sherman on the call tonight. She is just, I know, some of you maybe were on when she was a guest on our call late last summer, and she lit that call up, but I wanted to have her back on. I know we always have, a lot of new people and people who haven't heard, and like very specifically right now, I think posture and confidence and just this whole sort of like it factor, which I want her to be able to talk about in a minute here. I'm just super excited because she exudes that. So real quick, Lorrie, I always do recognition at the beginning, and I have it in my head, so I'm just going to do it instead of, because I didn't have to write it down. But I do want to totally shout out Courtney Mott, who hit 1 star this past week. So excited for her. I know, and she was paid as manager, so she actually, you guys, hit 5-cycle bonus and 1 star in the same week. And I'm so proud of her because she was going for 5-cycle bonus, and she just, partway through the week, like, I got that in the bag, and then she was able to keep pushing and go bigger and go for 1 star. And posture is a big thing I saw in her story too last week. So Lorrie is 3-star Golden Circle, and Lorrie 2-star Crystal Exec 2. Yep. I know you have some, but yes. So just, 2 personally enrolled execs for those of you who don't know, 3-star Golden Circle. So yeah, Lorrie, I'm excited for you to go ahead and share with us.
Yay. Awesome. Hello, everyone. I think I know most of you. Some of you I don't know. My name is Lorrie Sherman. I live in Farmington, Minnesota. Yes, there's corn crops here, and I don't always like the smell of it, but that's where we ended up moving to. I'm going to talk about posture tonight, so thank you, Allison and Jake, for having me on your call. I think it's so fun to have other people hop on different team calls. We do the same thing because sometimes it takes the 6th time to hear something, and then it finally lands. So if that's you and you've been there where you've heard stuff from your sponsor or you've heard stuff from teammates, but then someone on stage says it, you're like, that's genius. Like, know that that's normal. Even if you're a sponsor and you're telling your team stuff over and over, and then someone else says it and they like think it's the best thing ever, like, just have a humble heart, like, awesome. That is so cool that you just learned that. Even though you've been pouring it into them, that's just part of a posture of leader of like, yay, they got it, versus like, I've been telling you that for 5 times. Like, it's just that posture of like, good for you. I'm going to cheer you on, because you don't know what they're going through. Like, they might have caught 2 other things from when you've talked with them, and then they lost that part, right? So they needed that 5th time. I'm going to look over here. I have a whiteboard with my bullet points to keep me on track, because sometimes I get really fired up and then I miss like my ending point. So if I'm looking away, just know I'm doing my due diligence to stay on track. So the first thing I want to talk about is, this is not on my board. This is already so funny. I'm going off. Excitement. Make sure you love this business. Like, key 1. Like, if you don't love this business, I'm going to tell you, like, turn off your call right now. Like, if you're like, why am I even doing this? I'm just going to say, go for it. Like, just hit end. I'm going to leave the meeting. Like, you have to want to be here, right? And so sometimes, and I know people are laughing, there's some people like, I don't know why you're in this business. Everything you say is negative. Like, I want to give you permission. If you're not excited to be on this call, or if you're like, oh my gosh, the team calls at 9 o'clock, I would say, then you're probably not meant for this business. And I say that with love, for the fact of, when you're in it, you want to get on a team call. You want to see your team. You want to learn. You want to grow. It's not a hassle. It's not a, oh, another thing on my calendar. It's like, yes, I get to see my best friends in the call. I get to learn and I get to grow. So step 1, make sure that your mindset is excitement versus like, blah. Does that make sense? And I am going to talk very open. That's how I am, because I want you guys to get it, versus I'm not going to always bundle things in a pretty package and then make sure you understand it. I'm going to just say it so then you guys get what I'm saying. The other thing is, if you're on this call and you don't have teammates on here with you, like I always say, like, you hop in, it's you, right? But your goal is to teach your 2 legs, right? And so if you have teammates that are on your 2 legs, but they're not on this call right now, make sure, yes, you're taking this information in for you, yay, but your job as a leader is to take what you learn from these calls and make sure that gets duplicated to your team. Does that make sense? So even if they're not on this call, but you see potential in someone, make sure you're transferring this information over to them. Or if you guys record this, make sure, like, hey, watch this video and tell me your top 2 takeaways, right? That's you as a leader bringing people along with you, because they might not know, like, oh, Lorrie tags me in this video, but I don't know that I'm supposed to actually watch it, or what does she want me to do with it, right? So what I've learned in my 5-year journey almost is really spelling out why we do things versus my mind says I say something and I assume people know my ABC and they're going to go to Z with me, right? Versus I've now learned I have to say AB, I have to say the whole alphabet to help people get to the Z. Does that make sense? Like, that was my assumption. People's brains process as fast as I do, or just assume they have the same brain route to get to the end result. And so what I've learned a lot is I have to stop assuming, and I just say everything, and I say, this is why I'm doing it, this is why you're going to do it, and then I want you to teach it to your team. Yes, Gretchen, yeah. So again, I like to reiterate, like, when you hear things, great for you, but then teach it to your team. Don't ever forget, like, I'm proud of you guys on this call, but what I'm going to be more proud of, or most proud, is if you go and get off this call and say, hey, when Allison puts these videos up, I want you to, like, do something with it. This is another tool, right? And if you feel like this is valuable, which I hope it is because I prepped for it, I hope you have teammates watch it and say, yes, I took away 1 golden nugget or 5 golden nuggets. My first thing for posture, belief in yourself. And again, that starts with getting excited and knowing that you want to be on this call and you're pumped that it's 9 o'clock, maybe you have kids in bed, and now you get to dig into your Isogenics business. Excitement should be your key. If you don't have excitement, you got to figure that out, right? Like, why are you doing this business? Do that digging deep. If you're not excited, call Allison and Jake. They're really good at digging, like, really deep of, like, understanding why you want to build. So belief in yourself. You have to know yourself. If you think about posture, like, if I believe in Lorrie Sherman, you better believe I know myself, right? If I don't know who I am to my core, or what I am supposed to do in life, or whatever, then how am I going to have belief if I don't understand who Lorrie Sherman is, right? So same for you guys. I want you to say, like, I know Jane, I know Gretchen, I know Trisha. Like, say to yourself, like, you know who you are, right? But if you don't, that's part of the journey. That's like the blessing of this business. I would say rewind 5 years ago, I was a lost, burnt out mom that I had big ambitions for life, but I didn't know what to do with it, right? Insert Isogenics, help me cast the vision, help me make a vision board. Like, then I'm like, this is who I am. This is what gets me excited. Now I just go run. Does that make sense? So you have to know who you are, and it's an ongoing thing, right? But just keep knowing, like, okay, I know that I'm smart. I know that I'm compassionate. I know I can teach people, right? Like, write down what you know. That's not being cocky. That's just understanding who you are, so then you can show up the best in the world. I would say that starts with strengths. If you have not done a strength finder, that'll give you your very base of who you are. Like, that's a great place to start. I used Emily Brumman. I know Brian Fish. I don't know who else you guys use on your team. That one other guy, I don't know if he's a strength finders coach, but I've seen his beard that you guys have talked about.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know who he is. Okay.
Yeah, Carlson, yes.
Okay. So find someone that jives with you, right? Like, find the person that you can cry with, that you can laugh with, that's actually going to push you. But knowing your strengths really is going to be like, oh yeah, that's why I'm wired the way I am. And then you can kind of sit taller with it, because now you know those are actually strengths within you that not everyone has. So again, if you don't show up as Lorrie Sherman, like, I'm never going to fit that puzzle piece that, like, Lorrie Sherman's supposed to fit. Does that make sense? I always view, like, human population as a big puzzle, right? And we each are designed with an exact piece, more or less, right? But we're evolving within it. But if I try to be an Allison Matthews, like, then the Lorrie Sherman piece and the big worldwide puzzle never gets fulfilled by Lorrie Sherman, because I'm looking to be someone else, right? So you have to be super excited. If you want to help complete, I would hope you would be, I should say, you want to help complete the worldwide map of, like, the human population, of, like, how you show up affects you, your family, your neighborhood, your community, the world, right? Like, that impact, that ripple effect. So make sure you're focusing on your puzzle piece, not someone else's, not your upline, not your downline, not some Isogenics stage person or social media expert. Like, if you're always looking and bouncing around, like, you're going to feel not authentic to you, and it's going to really suck. And I think we all go through that. If you're authentic with yourselves, like, we're trying, like, we come in, like, oh, she's amazing, he's amazing, I want that, I want that. And we can get so sidetracked of wanting to be all these people versus, like, those are great inspirations, like, get inspired, please. But then home back to yourself and, like, who am I to my soul? Like, if no one's looking, Like, how am I going to show up? Would I always uplift people? Would I always pour goodness into people? Would I always be laughing? Like, whatever you are, right? So find your strengths if you don't have them, because that'll give you a very good baseline of who you are, and you can build off of that. The other thing with belief in yourself, practice in isogenics, practice by doing. So again, belief in yourself means I've done the comp plan, I don't even know how many times, right? How many times have you drawn out the comp plan? Do you have belief in yourself that if we're like, hey, today's your day, you're up on Super Saturday, can you go rock out the comp plan without like going into a deep sweat, right, of uncertainty? You might be nervous, but you still know it, right? Or can you go up and draw the long-term residual plan, right? What I found is my team loves and knows the 820 or the 900, but maybe they don't know how to draw the big residual income piece, right? So practice that. That's what caught my eye at a tasting. My very first launch party was seeing the 2 legs drawn out, maxed out business center. I was like, oh my gosh, what? Like I was the last person. I asked question after question. If they wouldn't have drawn that out, I would have been like, oh cool, you can make $800 at that time, right? But I would have thought it was like some like in-home little small business, like, you know, $800 is still a lot of money, but like it wasn't the big 13,500 every Monday. Does that make sense? So I'm so thankful to that person that drew it out. The other thing about belief in yourself, your day, how often do you talk positive about yourself? And not in a cocky way, but just like, hey, I got this. Oh my gosh, my house is super clean. Or, oh my gosh, I just made a really good meal. Like, I'm not a cook by any means. Everyone knows that. Andy cooks in my house. But when I do, I'm like, oh yeah, I just did a recipe. But you might think like, oh my gosh, Lorrie, recipes are so easy. That's your strength. Be proud of that, right? I'd rather just go cater food to me or like go buy something. So you have to like, sometimes you overthink of what you're naturally gifted with, which comes easy to you, but to other people, like I'm in awe of people that just can like cook and cook and cook and they just like throw stuff in a pot. I was like, yeah, or drink a shake. Exactly. I've been known to have 4 to 5 shakes in a day for a couple days, and it's good. For real. No, that's just, it's easy. And I like to be on the go. Anyway, does that make sense, you guys? Like, know your strengths. Like, sometimes you forget. Like, one of the girls on my team, she's awesome at cooking. I'm like, why are you not doing Facebook Lives on your personal page? Because that is something valuable. People get to see you in your element, and then you can just post your recipes below. Like, people are going to come back to your page because you love cooking. Self-talk. I hope you have declarations in your bathroom mirror. If you do not, please do that like tonight. Like put that down with a star and like circle it and then tell someone you're going to do it. Because mirror you see in the morning and you see at night. And I want it to be like 3 things that you know and you believe or you're going to start believing about yourself. So whether that's I am smart, I am confident, whatever you need to tell yourself, because we all have stories, right, of growing up. Maybe your parents always told you you were not good enough. Maybe you always competed in corporate America. Like, there's no competition here, right? So, like, then you can say, I'm a team player. I love watching people be successful, right? Whatever you need to change your heart or change your mindset, only you know that, but put like 3 things. If you're ambitious, I would say 10, but I'm going to say 3 to make sure you do it. But if you have the achiever in you, I want 10, obviously. But make sure they're in your bathroom. And if you struggle in that area of mindset and self-talk, I would say put it on your steering wheel and put it, like we have stuff on, I have one cabinet in my kitchen that's all like shaker cups. Like we have we have like 2 Post-it notes there of my 3 things. And then I also have like a financial goal. They're blue sticky notes on white cabinets. It looks hideous, but it catches my eye because I'm always drinking shakes. So every time I open that cupboard, I read it. And when people come over, they're like, what is this? I'm like, let me tell you. And I'm sure they probably think I'm crazy. But at the same time, I hope I change their mindset, like, you know, planting a seed. The other thing under believing in yourself, know that you're created for a purpose. Like, know that. And that's one thing I'm super passionate about, inside or outside of isogenics. Like, you were made by the creator of this universe for a reason. Like, you didn't just randomly pop and like land on Earth. Like, you have a divine purpose within you, and that's your job. Like, that's why you're on planet Earth, is to really understand, like, why the heck are you made? Like, there's something within you that none of us else have, and you got to like dig deep and figure that out. And that's the journey of life. Like, end of story. That's the journey, right? Like, show up, love people, figure out your strengths and what you can make an impact on this world. So know that you're creative. You have to know that you know that That posture comes from, I know I'm supposed to be here, and I need to rock out something, and I'm going to work my butt off and keep doing it and light other people on fire. So know that you're created for a purpose. And again, know that here in your head and in your heart. But again, do this to your teams. If you have team members that are not on here, make sure you go tell your teammates, like, hey, Lizzie, hey, Jennifer, whatever, you are created for a purpose. Like, let them get that fire within them. Because once you know you're created for a purpose, no one steals that, right? Like, that's what drives me. At the end of the day, like, I'm created for a purpose. And whether how I show up as a mom or a wife or a isogenics leader or a neighbor in my neighborhood, right? I'm created for that purpose. I live on my street for a reason, right? I better be talking to my neighbors and pouring life into them, not gossiping on my street, right? I hope you're doing the same. That is my first point, is belief in yourself. That was all subtitled. So knowing yourself. Step 2, point 2, confidence. Okay, this is huge, you guys. Confidence, yet humble. Write that down. I want you to be confident, but humble. Confidence is like, yes, I know I can walk and I can draw a comp plan. That's not cocky. I just know that I can do that. You should know that too, right? People want to follow a confident leader. If I saw a wish-washy leader or someone that doesn't have self-confidence, I would be out. Like, I'd be like, no, that does not appeal to me. Like, that would not attract my personality, right? So you have to think that you're driving a business, right? People want to see confidence. They want to see a leader that knows it. Like, oh yeah, she's going to go rock that. Like, and then you cheer them on, right? So make sure you have confidence, but you're humble. You're not the cocky leader, right? It's humble. So what does humble mean? My church just went over this on, say it to you. Humble is thinking of yourself less, right? So quantity of time, you're thinking of yourself less, but it's not thinking less of yourself. So you're not like downplaying your strengths, you're not downplaying yourself. It's just you're not thinking about, you're serving others, right? And we talk about that all the time as servant leadership. So thinking of yourself less, quantity of time, like I don't think about Lorrie Sherman all day. Think of other people, right? Think of your neighbors, think of your team, think of your family, think of your kids, think of your parents, right? You're there to serve, whatever that looks like. Or if you're in organizations or sports, like tell your kids, coach, he's doing awesome. Think how many coaches probably get yelled at by parents, right? Or like, my kid doesn't have enough play time. Why don't you say, you're doing awesome, and I love how you let all the players play, right? Like, reverse it. Like, I love messing with people's minds of like, they get all this negativity, and then like, boom, we just go out there and we throw in positivity. Like, you know, that will change their night. Point 3, gratitude is everything. If you're not doing gratitude each night, and I know you all know this, but are you actually doing it? That's always my second question. A lot of people know things like, oh yeah, I've heard that. Like, but are you doing it? Like, are you actually implementing the gratitude journal? And a good grade if you are, but is your team doing that? That's something you can ask your teammates, right? Because if you're writing gratitudes every day, your posture is going to be like, this life is awesome, right? You're going to go to bed every night like, this is a good life. Even if you have a bad part of your day, that grounding of gratitude nightly is going to bring you a different posture in your daily life. Or you can do it in the morning, whatever gets you excited. Under gratitude, it's for life, family, even if you have crazy kids or crazy in-laws or crazy parents or whatever, like be grateful that you know them, right? Or be grateful that you live far away. I don't know, like whatever that is in your family situation, like write that down. The other thing is, everything I say with is love, and I just say this because I'm open book to my team, because I want my team to do well, right? So I'm going to tell them everything I know in my head, and I always say this is with love. But love your team, whether it's your upline or your downline or the ones like your sidelines, and even your customers, because sometimes as leaders, or we're trying to build really fast, and it's kind of about us sometimes. Like, oh, I want to hit this goal. Like, love on your customers. Like, oh my gosh, I love that I have 4 new customers, right? Or if your downlines 5 people, that's a huge gratitude. Like, I'm so thankful I have 5 people ordering isogenics right now in my business, right? Or I'm so thankful I have 100 people as customers. Like, don't forget the customers, right? That's 85% of your business is just customers ordering. Do you thank them? Do you write about them in your gratitude journal? Like, that stuff shifts your heart versus so focused on business builders or so focused on rank goals or cycles. Like, that all comes with posture. That's like a result. So gratitude for all of that. Even for gratitude for like, I'm glad my teammates know when to breathe. I'm glad when my teammates mindset shift. Showing up 100%. This is huge for me. I'm super passionate. Like if people are on calls, I'm like, I want to see your face. Like show up. I want to see you. Like what? I don't want to talk to a screen, right? Like that's 100%. If I was in corporate America and I hopped on a call, like that's something I would be passionate about. If you're in a team meeting or you're at an event, get off your phones. Like, I just talked to my team about that. I'm like, it drives me nuts when I see people on their cell phones at an Isogenics event. It drives me nuts. Like you look down the aisle, like one person will pull out their phone and they start checking, and then like two people. And I always whap Andy. I'm like, hey, look at it. And it starts a ripple effect. And so I just tell people, if that's you, I don't know why they're at the event if they're on their phone. I really don't. I get it if you have to like talk to your husband or your kids. I would say out of respect for those around you and as a leader, get up, go to the back hallway, go to the bathroom, call your husband, text your kid, or stand in the back so not everyone sees you. We've all been there, right? When you're in an event and there's someone in front of you, like people are scrolling Facebook or like Instagram. I want to be like, hey, how bad do you want this business? Because if I were you, I'd be looking at the stage, not at your phone, right? So again, showing up. Not everyone likes to hear that, but I say it because it's truth. Like you don't see leaders scrolling Facebook, right? And again, if you don't do that, awesome. Take it to your head, but again, teach it to your two teams, your two legs, right? Like if this is like, Lorrie, I know this, great. But have you told your team to not be on their phone? Have you called them out? Like, hey, how bad do you want it? I saw you're on your phone for half the time. Like that's out of love, right? Because if they're thinking they're coming to these events and they're not succeeding, well, and you know why, because they're on their phone, not taking notes, like that's on you as a leader to say, hey, I know you want to grow. I know you want to hit 5-cycle bonus. But what I've noticed is you're on your phone half the time. I say, that's fine. But if you're wanting to hit big goals, I really want you to get trained. So it's leading with a heart, but still knowing like your job as a leader is to make sure they are present as well. Being intentional with your time. I'm a multitasker, which I'm trying to not be, because I still think, I used to think, I'm getting out of it, that I can do a lot, but then I'm not really intentional, right? Like I'm doing like 5 things at once. And so if you're a multitasker, I would say try like 2 days of like one thing at a time. Like I'm going to do this and then stop that. And then I'm going to do this and just see how your brain feels. I mean, look at results too, but just see how much calmer your brain is and you're not hassling. If you have kids around you, you probably won't be like, oh my gosh, hold on 1 more second. Like just be in one thing. It's okay. Like the world's not going to end if you're not doing 2 things at once. And enjoy the process. Like that's part of life, is being present in whatever you're doing, right? Versus like hustling and rustling and like mass chaos. Like people will then feel that. Like if you get on a call, like, oh my gosh, I was just doing this. Confidence and smooth and ease, right? Not anxiety and chaos and all that. What time is it? 9:24. Believe in your team. For posture, that's so huge. Think of leaders when you walk up and like, oh, this is my teammate. And they just naturally believe in their team. And they say good things about their team. Like, yay, this is Gretchen. She just hit 3-star, right? Yay. And like you bring them in. So again, posture is believing in your team. But then if you're at events or whatever, make sure you're networking your team into the community. Does that make sense? I'm going to say that again. Network your team into your Isogenics community. Because sometimes if we've been around a while, we don't like, oh, we go say hi to our people, but it's like, here's my new upcoming manager. Here's my new director, right? You bring them in and introduce them, or get them on a 3-way call and say, hey, I think you'd really relate to Trisha. I want you to meet her, even if they're never financially connected. Like, are you bringing that posture of community? Like, I am a leader. I need to network my team, right? I always say, like, if I fall off the planet, will my team still be fine without me, right? There's enough community, there's enough network, there's enough whatever. For an example, like last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever, my brother got super sick, so I flew to Nashville, like the day of. He called, we went into the ER, and I was down there like 4 hours later. We had our team call, we had all this stuff, and my team just picked it up. I messaged 2 girls, said, hey, I can't be on the call, figure it out, and they organized, they just did everything. I was like, they're like, we're good. I'm like within 10 minutes, they figured it out. And like, we followed your lead, we did the announcements, we did this, and I said, rock on. I said, that makes me so happy. Like, I didn't have to miss a beat, and they knew exactly what to do, and that rose them up to as leaders, right? So make sure you're doing that sometimes, that you're bringing them up and not just about like you and your group that you went with, like bring people into it. The one, Allison's so good at remembering like where things come from. So if you remember this, Allison, post who it's from. But I want you guys to write this down. It's 2 lines. And the first line, I want you to write 3 words. I will help. And then the second line below that, you build your business. So the statement says, I will help you build your business, but it's 2 different lines. Does that make sense? So I will help will be on the first line. You build your business. Thank you. Okay, yay. Thank you, bitch. So with that, when you're working with people, I always say this, and this is, you can train on this too. Again, if you already know this stuff, have you shown this to your new teammates, right? And so what I want you to do is circle that second line. You build your business, right? So you can say, hey, I love working with you. This is what we're going to do. This is how I partner with our teammates. You build your business, and then draw an arrow up. I will help, right? Rather than I will help you build your business, like you build your business, I will help, right? So it's on them. It's their ownership hat. I'm all about people wearing the ownership hat, but I'm here to support you. I'm here to direct you. I'm here to network with you. Like I'm here to connect you to leaders if you don't know them. Like that's my job, but you're building your business, but I'm just here to help. Does that make sense? So if you've never seen that, yay, I'm glad you saw it. If you've seen it, have you showed your team that? Is that how you're coaching your team? Because then they kind of know where they're at. Like, oh, it's on me. It's like, oh, yeah, it's on you. But sometimes they don't realize it, right? And sometimes it's good to go back like, hey, tell me your new goal. I want to show you this little model we made up, you know, or that we learned from Lorrie. And then you draw it out. I see chats going, but I don't look at them. So I'll look at it. Okay, cool. I know we have 3 minutes left. So really quick, product and biz groups, show up in them. Pretty much simple, but not everyone does. I would say 3 to 4 posts a week. If you're a business leader, it's your storefront. If you're not posting, please post. I don't know, that's what I say to my team. Like, you're not gonna invite someone to your clothing store and then hide in the back office and then never come out when your people are in there, right? Like that would be weird. So you wanna be in your business group and in your product group. If you've already posted that day, or if you're raising up new leaders, like if I posted whatever, an image that morning, I'd be like, hey, I just found another image. I'll shoot it to like my new person. Like when Carrie Brett joined, like, hey, Carrie, I already posted today. Would you mind posting this between noon and 4, right? Like I would help her give ideas. So then she's like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'll post that. And it got her building confidence, right? And it got her posting valuable things that I had seen, but I didn't want to make 2 or 3 posts from Lorrie that day. Does that make sense? So it's helping early people. I don't do that anymore, but like just getting people used to like, oh, she asked me to do that. She asked me to do that. And then like, oh my gosh, I got 5 likes on it, right? And not that we're feeding for likes, but for that new person, it helps build their confidence. So I'm gonna end with this. Ask yourself this. When you're building a business and you're like, okay, this is my thing. Do you really believe, like this is posture, right? Do you really believe this, Isogenics, changes lives physically and financially? Like, do you really believe it? I hope you do, you should. But I want you to ask yourself that, and then I want you to ask your teammates that. Because if they kind of waver, then that's a whole lot of other work you need to work on before they're doing stuff. Okay, yes. Good to see you. The other question, do you think people will love the energy of someone with posture, right? If people have posture, people love that. So have some energy. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be my energy. It doesn't have to be Trisha's. I'm just pulling people's names because I know they won't care that I say their name. But figure out what your energy is, right? If you're a little bit quieter, that's fine, but do people still feel that you're excited, right? Is there something about you like, oh my gosh, she's actually excited about this versus whatever else? And then do you think people will follow your lead versus someone that's all over the place, right? And so I want to say lovingly, like watch what you post on social media too, like be authentic, but at the same time, remember if someone to your page like, oh my gosh, she is all over the place, that does not build good posture or confidence in a leader, right? Like, yes, be authentic and share that, but at the same time, I say this lovingly, like watch what you're casting on social media, because some people, they don't know your whole story, so they just see someone that's like, up and down, like riding a roller coaster, right? That's not going to attract builders either. If you're looking to attract builders, if that's your goal, I assume that's your goal. I don't want to assume that. Cool. So that's all related to posture. Does that make sense? So belief in yourself, knowing yourself, confident yet humble, gratitude in everything in life, everything, showing up 100% and intentional, believing in your team, showing up in your product and business group, and then those last 3 questions. Do you really believe this will change lives physically and financially? I joined for $130 a month. That was my first goal, you guys. So don't feel like you need to be making thousands, that you need to impact people's lives. Like $130 a month that's what got me pumped, right? That's 3 cycles in a whole month. That's what got me going. So don't undermine the cycle of $54. Some people just want an extra pedicure a month, right? 2 cycles a month. Cool. That's all I got, Allison. I know.
So awesome. And I think, the coolest thing about that is it started there, and then people didn't, Jen and Amanda and the people, they didn't just say, oh, she only wants that. Like, they showed you how to do that, and then you wanted more. And then they showed you how to do that, and then you wanted more. It's an evolution for people. And so to walk alongside them on their journey and to show them what they're looking for is just so powerful. Because I think we could all say, right, it would be awesome to have a Lorrie Sherman on your team, right? Like, that's just so cool. So thank you for that so much. Does anyone have like a question or any sort of questions for her? I know people have been commenting in the chat, so yeah, but mainly just tons of positive reinforcement that it totally is hitting home. So, and what I love about it is just the authenticity and the self-love that's coming through. It's like confident yet humble. I mean, it is such an art, but you guys, you can do it. Like, just look at how she's implementing and how she's able to, one of the things, I took so many notes. One of the things that Lori Harder at her book thing on Thursday night said, all of this can be learned. Like, this stuff can be learned. Don't look at someone and think, oh gosh, well, they have it and I don't know. You can learn it. Like, Gretchen taking tons of notes. Exactly. Like, so cool to hear. I was taking notes right on my phone notepad. So yes. Any other final announcements or anything? I think.
If you have more questions, just find me on Facebook. I'll happy to help.
Yeah.
And if you got any lunch parties coming up this week.
If you're looking for the golden nugget in this business, like, guarantee, it's posture.
It is.
Like, even if you don't know, like, it's posture. Like, I don't know that, but I know a resource. Like, I still get excited about the resources. If I don't know an answer, I'm like, that's a great question. I want to know that too. Give me a day. Give me 24 hours. Give me 6 hours, right? So then I still feel my excitement to learn versus like, I don't know what that is. It's like, no, I want to know that. I should know that, but I know I can go find it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And to Jake's point, any launch parties that are coming up, put them in the comments and we'll put them in the group. If you have any, we always do. Yeah. Upcoming launch parties. Or any that were super, super good. And you guys, I know you've seen Raspberry Cheesecake is coming out tomorrow. So that's perfect for Ricky's and Hugo tomorrow. Any others? Celebration, I saw, is less than 600 tickets available at this point. So go get your ticket if you don't have it yet. And
go get 3 tickets.
Go get
you're going to bring 2 people with you.
Yep. As Lori said, teach your team, both sides. So get your tickets. So good, Lori. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, thank you,
we
Lori.
We so appreciate it.
Yes, good to see everyone.
Yes, have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Good night. Thank you.